So, who's the greatest basketball family of all time? It may not be who you're thinking, but let me break it down for you. Alright, so boom. Now I know there's going to be some arguments for the Currys, though I might have to say no and argue against that. I'm saying, hear me out though. It starts with Pam McGee and her sister. We'll talk about that though. She was born in Flint, Michigan on December 1st, 1962, and she was a twin. Her twin sister was named Paula, like the double Flint twins. So they were like the pretty light-skinned twins from Michigan before Tia Landry and Tamara Campbell. And didn't Tia end up landing a job with the WNBA? This comparison just keeps getting better. Pam and her sister Paula joined a pretty legit list of ballers from Flint, Michigan, including Glenn Rice, Tanya Edwards, Mateen Cleaves, Mo Pete, and Kyle Kuzma. She put up back-to-back state championships at Flint Northern High School and was an academic All-American. She was a multi-talented athlete, setting Michigan state records in track and field as well. After such a poppin' high school career, I mean, the future looked great. But how high could these twin stars rise? Next came a course of events that would change her and her sister's lives, and the future of women's basketball as well. The great Linda Sharp took a chance on the girls from Flint, which at the time wasn't on the national radar as a hotbed for basketball players. But they were 6'3", both athletic, and both ballers. They would go on to be collegiate All-Americans and back-to-back national champions at USC in 1983 and 84, which just happens to be the same year that Curtis Blow dropped his classic. I'm going to assume you know which one I'm talking about. But just in case you don't, I'm talking basketball, baby, like Curtis Blow. Hit me in the comments, tell me what movie that quote came from. First 10 people with the right answer, I'll send something nice. And yeah, let's not talk about how the NBA tried to play Curtis Blow. They wouldn't give him the license to use the image of the players in the video. But then, when the song started popping, they flew him around to perform at games. And they made their own video showing each and every player that he mentioned in the song. Crazy, right? I mean, I'm getting off topic a little bit because this is about Pam McGee. So let's get back. And we left off with her being an All-American and back-to-back champ at USC. The ladies of Troy. And that team was loaded too. There was of course Pam and Paula, but then there was two of the greatest. Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Miller. Like, how could you not win with those four? Ballers. Legit. Stars. All-time greats. Pam would also rack up Olympic medals. And pay attention, because that's going to come into play later. She was a U.S. gold medalist in the '83 Pan American Games in Venezuela, which was a bounce-back effort after only winning silver at the World Championships, losing in the gold medal game on a last-second dagger game-winning shot. Talk about heartbreak. McGee and the rest of the women would carry that momentum into the Jones Cup in Taiwan, winning gold there, then going undefeated in the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles. They was like all gold everything before Trinidad James. But he ain't from LA, so it's more like a victory lap. Prolific, so gifted. I'm the type that's gonna go get it, no kidding. Breaking down the switch in front of your belt, sitting on the podium feeling no feelings. Gotta keep the devil in his hole. I mean, I could give y'all Nipsey quotes till tomorrow morning. So yeah, it was kind of like that. And after the Olympic success, Pam turned pro, where she was along with her sister, a WABA champion in '84 as a member of the Dallas Diamond. But the WABA will fold, and with little to no opportunity in America, like many women ballers of the time, she took her talents overseas. She played in Italy, Brazil, and Spain, and won chips in all three places. It was during this time that she gave birth to her first child. A boy in 1988, she named him JaVale. He was born mid-season, forcing her to fly home to Flint to give birth. A few months later, she returned to the team with a future NBA baller on her hip. She negotiated into all of her contracts from that point. The teams will hire a nanny so that JaVale could travel with the team and attend the games. Then in 1994, the family grew with the birth of daughter Imani. It's hard to imagine it now, but like I said, the opportunities weren't always there for women ballers in America. So when the WNBA was formed, it was a big deal. Pam was selected with the #2 overall pick by the Sacramento Monarchs in the inaugural WNBA draft in 1997. By this time, she was past her prime, but still had a lot in the tank. And she was a dog, so. After her rookie season, she was traded to the LA Sparks. And it was with LA that she would wrap up her illustrious career. And here's where Pam and JaVale make a great tandem. Well, of course, he made it to the league, making her the first WNBA player to have a son in the NBA. They're also the first mother and son duo to win Olympic gold medals for the USA. And they are both champions at the pro level. Now, if that's not enough, her daughter Imani was a standout at Texas and was taken 10th overall in the first round of the 2016 WNBA draft by the Chicago Sky. Ballin runs deep with them. So like I said in the beginning, they can truly make an argument for the greatest basketball family ever.
I definitely fell in love with the game from an early age. Just as a kid, just being around my mother, just playing overseas, playing in WNBA, coaching, just everything. She even coached me in my freshman and sophomore year in high school. So she was always around and always on my head about basketball, but it wasn't a forcing me to do something. It was more, I wanted to do it. She just wanted me to do it the right way. So she always tried to instill that into me. She low-key would try to get me to quit. To be like, you just don't need to play basketball if you're going to play like this. Like had to be that that parent to be the nice guy and the bad guy. Me and my mom were the first to have gold medals in the same sport. Americans. I believe somebody else did it in a different country. I'm gonna miss out on some of her accolades, but I'm gonna try to name them all. I think she's a 2-time high school champion. She was an All-American. She won back-to-back championships in college at USC. She has a banner at USC. She's in the Hall of Fame. She won a WNBA championship. She's an Olympic gold medalist. She won in the 84 games. She's extremely well-versed in winning. So as a child, just seeing that, you like, well, I got a lot to live up to. So, but it was good. I was born in Flint, Michigan, in the middle of my mother's basketball season overseas. So I was born, but she was still in season. So she came back, had me, I think, stayed for, a couple months, maybe a little bit longer. And then she had to go back overseas, I believe, and bring me with her. So she said, she always tells me the story that she had a stroller on the end of the bench when she would play games. And with every contract, they would have to hire her a nanny and make sure that I could be on the stroller at the end of the bench. So I've been around the game since I was born, like really. I feel like the fact that she had me around basketball my whole life was extremely important on how my life ended up. And then she finally came back to the States when I was around, I want to say 5th grade. Yeah, I would say 5th grade. But I was coming back and forth and I would stay with my grandmother. So when she came back, she played for the Sacramento Monarchs and she played for the LA Sparks. So I remember those times pretty vividly, being in the tunnel at the Sacramento Kings arena, watching the Monarchs play, and just seeing Mitch Richmond and guys like that. And then I remember going to the Sparks games and the Sparks practices and seeing Lisa Leslie and things like that. So yeah, it's just growing up in that, you get to realize like how much around basketball you really are. She was drafted second, I believe, in the first WNBA. So at 36 or 34, I forgot what age she was. But yeah, so I was just like, that's amazing, yeah. So my mother was sponsored by Adidas, so me and her wore the same size shoe at the time. So we used to get so many free Adidas and everything. I was coming to school with like this, like shell toe Adidas and everything, and the kids thought I was rich just because of that. They didn't realize that she had a gear deal. She didn't have a money deal, so they just gave her all the gear she wanted. And in the WNBA, when she was there, they were making like $30,000 a year. So it was funny, like people really used to think like, you want to play in the WNBA, you rich. I'm like, no, she's making the same salary as a school teacher, sorry to tell you. But Yeah, it was fun though. It was a lot of fun, man. Just being around the game and just seeing how strong my mother was, and just seeing her hustle and grind. It was definitely a fun childhood. I can't say I'm not one of those people that say I had a bad childhood. I grew up in poverty, but I didn't have a bad childhood at all. She knew everything she was talking about, and luckily I wasn't a kid who. I wasn't an adventurous kid to where like I was like, I don't want to do it your way. I want to do it this way. I would just, if I saw the path, if you showed me the path and I saw it was clear, like it wasn't any alligators in the middle of the road or anything, I would just take the path and just say, all right, you're right. So she definitely led me the right way. And I feel like that's the problem with a lot of kids. Like they don't have anybody to at least lead them. Like not, you got to do this, but if you want to do this, you should go this way. I don't think a lot of people had that, and luckily my mother knew. Like, she knew what schools I should have went to, and for my freshman and sophomore year, I was on JV and I didn't play on varsity, and I was going to Detroit Country Day in Detroit. So my mother was like, "Well, you're not getting an opportunity here. Let's go to a small town, and where you can get more opportunities." So I went to a small town my junior year. I was averaging like 25, 14, and like 5 blocks or whatever. And she was like, "All right, now you can take this mode and put it to a basketball school." And I went to Chicago and I went to Hales Franciscan, which is a basketball school. So she knew I had the skills. She just knew I wasn't getting the shine that I needed. So when I got that shine and the confidence, she was like, "All right, now it's time to move to the big leagues of high school, at least, where you can actually show." And I did well there also. So then she knew, now you're going to have all these offers from college. Let's do that. She went on all my visits with me. She talked to the coaches and everything, and she really felt out everybody. When I really, at an age, you're 18, 17, you want to be in control. You want to know what you're doing, but you have no idea what these coaches are talking about. Nowadays, you got the internet, and you can look on your phone and research what's been going on at these colleges, but I was taking visits and she was talking to the coaches and everything, and I'm sitting there, obviously I'm talking, but I don't know what's going on. She's really diving into these coaches, and I appreciate that from her. And she helped me make a decision to go to Nevada, and that was a great decision for me. And when I got there, that's when I really got to spread my wings and make my own decisions.
Back in the day. Pam McGee is a Hall of Famer who won gold at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. And just last week in Tokyo, her son, JaVale McGee, carrying on that family legacy, some 37 years later, winning a gold with Team USA. That makes him the first American mother and son to win Olympic gold medals. And they're both here with us on the plaza celebrating this morning.
That is so awesome.
Yes, a round of applause. A round of applause.
Absolutely.
They both brought their medals with them.
That's so cool.
I mean, what was it like, Mom, watching your boy 37 years after you did it go out and do the same thing?
Okay, first of all, we do not have to say the years.
Embrace it.
That's too much information.
Wow. Point taken.
Thank you.
A couple years ago, Mom won a gold medal, and then a few years later, so there you go.
No, it's surreal.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like full circle because he's always been at all my championships.
Yes.
All of my events, and now, you know, my running gag is I'm the only Olympian basketball player to birth an Olympian.
Yes.
We like it. Good claim to fame right there.
Yeah, so I'm just really proud of him, his resiliency, and you know, as mothers, we just want them to max out their capacity,
100%.
to be the best that God has called you to be, and it's nothing higher than the gold medal. Because when he called me, I told him it's only 12 of us in the world that have a gold medal, and there's only one mother and son. You will always be the top of the food chain.
Yes.
I'm like, listen, so clearly you grew up in the right household.
Like you said, I've always been extremely resilient. But it was more to that, I feel like, with the whole Olympics experience for me. Me and my team, we took advantage of the opportunity to call the Olympics personally and just tell them like we're ready whenever, if because they hadn't picked the team yet. So we called before and we was just like, yo, we're ready. If you need a big, I know you don't have anybody of my caliber on the team. A 7-foot guy who can roll the rim, protect the basket. You don't have that. So if you guys need that, that, then go ahead and call me. But if things work out, they work out. They called me on a Friday, and we're like, can you get to Vegas on a Saturday?
Wow.
So I overpacked. I had like 5-6 bags. And when I got there, I had to send 3 back home. It was a lot, but I was ready, and definitely it was a blessing that I couldn't pass up.
Pamela, your son might be a 3-time, NBA champ, but you're pretty awesome yourself. I was reading your stats this morning, if we were to have a card, if you will, okay? So here we go. You've won a championship at every level of women's basketball, All-American at USC, 2nd overall pick in the 1997 WNBA draft, 2012 Basketball Hall of Famer. How does it feel to have been almost at the starting level of all of that, and then to see where we've gone and where we've progressed with women's basketball?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just, it's remarkable because of the fact I feel like I laid the bridge.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that come before the other players, and I just want the game to go to the next level. We're right there.
And where is that, if you were to say the next level? What would that be?
I just want people to support women's basketball, support the W. We work extremely hard.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't think, if other countries, we go to Russia, we go to Europe, and we get paid quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we're just saying, why can't we have that same model here in the States? And we're just telling people, support the W.
WNBA. Here's the thing. We're talking about JaVale, obviously, because he's sitting right here. A lot of folks probably don't know Amani. Your daughter went to law school.
Still is in law school.
But now talking about perhaps returning to professional basketball. Is that right?
Yes. Well, I mean, Amani, both of them were very cerebral children. I mean, we homeschooled in Europe, and they're extremely smart. So what I do like about both of them is that he's also in music. Basketball is also...
No, see, you just downplayed that. You said he was in music. He's a Grammy-nominated musician.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I think what I instill in both my children is max out your capacity. Never be a child that say shoulda, coulda, woulda, do.
Yeah.
And understand that somebody sacrificed. I was born to a teenage mother that had twins at 17, and she instilled that spirit of excellence and resiliency. And I just hope that I pass that down to them, that they understand that if they just didn't wake up and become Olympians, somebody sacrificed, somebody paid a price, and it's their obligation to take it to the next level.
You're amazing. Will you be my auntie?
Pam McGee also starred for USC and went on to win the gold medal in the '84 Olympics. The Sacramento Monarchs made her their first choice.
Well, when I was a child, I always dreamed that one day I would have the option to play in the NBA. And so to be a part of it, I'm still somewhat letting it all soak in, that there's going to actually be a viable, credible WNBA, and I'm excited about it.